Hello, Flosstube. I am Allie Renee, and this is Allie Renee's Copious Spare Time. Ooh, I forgot to look up which episode this is. Ooh, 7, maybe. I'm not sure. 6. We'll see. I have a bunch of stuff and limited time to record, so we'll see. Because once again, I have backed myself into a having to pick up the child situation. But this is the only time I can get something in. So, what do I have? I have some whips, some new starts, a tiny bit of haul, some quilting, some sewing, little life stuff. We'll see. We'll see. A smorgasbord. First thing is I have a finish. My very first finish. My very, very first finish. Behold. Ooh, hold on. My 1981. It's from 1981. It's the Fisher Price. I think it's called a starting stitching kit. That I did when I was a kid, when I was 6. So you do the math to figure out how old I am. It's still pretty cute though. It might be wool, but I sense it's acrylic, but it's the scratchiest stuff ever. I found some on eBay, some that are already done that are going for $15. And then there's at least one that they're usually calling it a starting stitching needlepoint kit on eBay. But and there was a new one for $25, starting at 25 if you wanted to do it. It's still pretty cute. I just want to show you so up front, not too bad. There's one little foobar here, but the back is like right on track for where I am right now with my backs as well. But it's pretty amazing. My mom had this in the house and she just brought it over, and I'm gonna proudly display it on my wall back here, or maybe in my office. But it's fun. I was pretty pleased to see it, and it's where it all began, everybody. Yeah, so there's a finish for you. The first the first ever finish I've showed you. Let's do some whips and I'll show you some starts. I tried to do as much work on all of my projects this week. I tried to get to them all, but I don't think I quite hit them all. At least trying to do like a thread or something and everything, but I did better than that on a few things. Here is the first one. Here's where I'm at on Deadly Aquarium. I am behind still, although we have like a week. I have this week to catch up. I've got some of the coral done. I got some of one of the fishes done, although it's one spot over, and I'm trying to decide if I care. I did a miscount somewhere. Um, but I think I'm just gonna leave it because I think I can just add an extra piece of green or black down here. It's not going to throw off everything because it's on the bottom. So I think I can get caught up. That this coral is a bit of a beast. There's a lot of stitching there. So I have this fish to finish, and I think there's one here and one up here that I got to do, and then finish off this coral, which I'm getting there. It's almost done. And then I suppose I should go back and do some more of the seaweed, but I'm still nervous. And I still have the rest of the back stitching in here to do, and a little bit more on those columns, but I'm getting caught up slowly. Not too bad. It's fun, but I wasn't feeling it this week. Mostly because I have to I'm using my iPad with it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm doing costume renderings right now, so I'm looking at my iPad a lot. So I just was like, it needed to charge, or I just didn't want to deal with it. Sorry, my chair is very squeaky. Anyway, what else? Whips. Here I finally picked up the orange. I don't even know if this is the right one, but I picked up an orange to do this mushroom. So I did a little bit more of my gnomes in Springfield. Got a little bit more of the needle's still in there. Working on this mushroom. This definitely is an uneven weave linen. So I think I'm just going to finish this into a Pinkeep, and then I'll use this for finishing or something else, not for stitching, because it's just frustrating enough. I'm like, don't think I want to do more on you. But yeah, I have done a little bit more on this, which is also an uneven weave, but this one's not as bad. This is La Poulet Pinkeep Party Hat Chicken, and I did some more of the grass and started to do some more of the leaves up here. So a little bit more on him, Party Chicken. But yeah, I was just trying to get at least finish like one piece of floss in there on a bunch of things. Here is Tree of Hope, which I'm making great progress on, I think. I'm really enjoying stitching this Mirabilia, so much so that I went ahead and finished kitting up as much as I could my Ophelia, which I'll show you in a minute. And here's this. So I started on the dress, and I've got all of this floor. This is all done right here, except for the beads. And then I started on the dress. And then I will also try to insert a picture. I did on my iPad, I did kind of a drawing of what using some photoshopping, like collaging techniques of what I think I want to change the dress into. That I think I'm going to add another tier into the dresses on the two ladies to make. I just wanted more of that blue color in there. So we'll see. I might see what it looks like on the one, and if I hate it, I can rip it out and go do what was originally intended, but I think I'm going to like it better. So that is the current plan. So I'm trying to get the white and the lime done in that one section so I can go start adding the blue and the I think it's both in the silks there. And then I've plotted out where I'm going to change the skin tone a little bit. I'm going to add a little shading in the skin tone because right now it's all like just one color, and it just was lacking some depth to me. So I'm going to maybe see what happens if I add like two more skin tone colors, maybe blending two threads together. But I think it depends on if I decide to do one over one, because then obviously I can blend. I'll have to just find like gradations of thread in a sequence to make that work out. We'll see. Okay, then what else? I did some more work on Godzilla, my great wave of Godzilla. I did some while watching the fantastic Godzilla -1, which I've already seen in the theater, of course, but it just came to HBO. And so I did much more of the sky, and then I started going in and doing some more of the navy on those navy areas, the navy and the blues that you're seeing that are, I mean, you probably don't even remember, but there's more blue and navy in there. So like all this, where this is all red here is going to be navy blue. And then where you're seeing the light blue will be this brighter blue. And then wherever you're seeing that cream color is going to be cream, like white-ish waves. And then same with up here, that'll all be white. That's where I redrew the wave to be Godzilla's kind of spiny back. And then there's a crap ton of confetti with that's all cream, like water spray confetti, which I am going to do that last. Hoping that I will be able to get it done fast, and then the bath will end up looking like my childhood start in the beginning. It'll just be like a crazy like murder board in the back of stitching, traveling. We'll see. Yeah, so I felt good about the progress that I made on things, though. It was nice to get a bunch of stuff done. Here's where I'm struggling. I picked up my green damsel again and where did I do? Worked on this. Sorry, just hit the computer. I worked on this right here, and then found out I'm in the wrong spot. I'm like, right now I'm so off in so many places that it's kind of impossible to count. And I'm like, do I just like stop? I don't know. Or I'll just can rip that out and just need to move it one more over. But I'm having difficulties because I might be counting the right numbers over on one spot because I'm so far off in so many areas, it's just like a cascade of errors right now, like a cascade fatal flaw situation. But I'm so close to being done, but it's just like, oh, it's just a struggle. So I just think, I don't know, I just need to push through, and then maybe I try again on this pattern. But I mean, I think it'll still be pretty when it's done. And then I will, frame it, and it'll be like, well, look at all the mistakes that I'm the only one that can see. And then it'll be like, here, this is where you started your journey again with this slog that you messed up 1,000 times on. But then it can only get better, right? Possibly, she says. So I would love some, what do you think? Encouragement on that. I'm just thinking I just got to push through and just do the best I can, and then whatever. So I worked some more on Seiju spectacles from Ink Circles. This is a kit that I picked up for $10 at I don't know, that place it's in Glen Ellen, Illinois. So I got a few more, 2 more flowers done and started on the letter E. And this is really nice. Just it's nice. It's silk, 1 strand over the linen that was in the kit. It's 36 count linen, and it's nice. So I'm enjoying that. It's silk. So I'm trying to get that done. I might use that as a present or not. I don't know. I'm sorry if you can hear fan noise. It's so hot and I'm just glistening my way through this podcast in here, but there's no way I could not leave that fan on. So now I have a new start. If you watched the last episode, I got a nice little haul from Lindy Stitches in which I got emo birds and this spooky book and birds of the bough and Christmas chicken, I think. And then I dyed some fabric. I started on emo birds and I bought the floss pack for it. And then here's my start on my, this is fabric. This is a linen, I think it's a 28 count. My nose is in 20, it's a 28 count linen that I hand dyed. So, and here's my start. And so far it's pretty fun. The pattern intended you to do it on a 32 or bigger. So because I'm doing two on this 28 count, it's a little more sparse in terms of coverage. I'm not mad about that though. I don't mind it. This pattern would probably look cuter if it were on a little smaller piece. I mean, this is going to fit nicely on here, but yeah, I'm fine with this, but if you want it to be more coverage, you need to do a smaller, or I should have used 3 threads, but I wasn't going to start over. And I also didn't mind the way it looked. So it's really fun to sew and the threads are nice. I mean, and look at how cute. Hold on, let me get it out. I mean, my little thread, I put all my threads in the little like buzzard vulture thread holder that came with. I mean, oh, it's so nice. So it's the 2 hand dyed threads from Weeks Dye Works, and the it's like this greenish kind of like, it looks great like oily feathers kind of thing, and then this hand dyed purple, and then it's a black and 2 grays and a white. Oh, and then it has Whisper. It has Whisper too to make their little collars and feet fluffy. It's Weeks Dye Works Mulberry, Weeks Dye Works Onyx. So Onyx is this greenish kind of oily color. It's nice because it's mostly just block stitching. So it's great, like distracted. I've been like stitching it when we go to bars and stuff. And because it's like a 28 count, I can see it nicely. And so that's been really nice. And then I also went ahead and kitted up the as many of the projects as I could from this book that are all in here with fabric and thread and waiting to get started. I'm planning to use up whatever's left of the Weeks Dye Works colors on these other ones too. Maybe I'll just swap some things in. So I'm pleased with that one. And it's going, I started it early before I was going to plan to do spooky stitching in July, but I couldn't wait anymore on that. I wanted to start it and it's so cute. Oh, so I think that's all for starts. And then so I did a bunch of kitting. I bought a lot of first I had a rewards at Michael's that I needed to use. So I bought a bunch of the DMC that I was missing that I needed for a couple of the patterns I just recently bought. I went through and did a bit of organizing of my stash. Like first I got Notion, the app on my phone, and then the one on the computer, and started to put in. And so sorry for people that don't know, Notion is like a project management program, or you can use it as a database or project management, etc. I'd heard a couple of people were using it and I thought I'd try it out, so I downloaded that and then I made a template and then started putting all of my stuff in there. So here is I made a stitch journal. So I started like tracking which projects I worked on. I was going to do time, but then it was like, that's not going to, didn't matter. Oh, I worked on Zodiac and didn't show that. I don't even know where that is. Oh, it's in my backpack. So yes, I worked on Zodiac as well. but so I thought it'd be useful for this purpose because then I could remember what I worked on, but then I can go see what haven't I worked on in a while and then go back to there. So, go back and start on that. So I here you can see that, and then I have a cross stitch projects where I put all of my patterns in there. Um, I started to link thumbnails to it. Sometimes this doesn't want to link a thumbnail depending on the size. It has a maximum size of like 5 MB, and sometimes the pictures are huge. So I had to either resave them smaller or find smaller ones or whatever. I don't necessarily need pictures. And then I put their designer name, and then I put a kind of some tags. So like, oh, if I want a sampler or want to start something Christmas, I can click that in Burb, mushrooms, etc. Then I put a status, like, is it in progress? Is it done, etc. And kitted, yes, or kit, and then I put kip, like kit in progress, etc. I started to put the size on things, some notes, like where I got it from, when I bought things, dates when I started, although this I've not been paying attention to. I put material. I have links to the pattern if I have the pattern. I started to put some floss, like if I needed the floss, I put it in there. Or, we'll see. So I'm just trying it out. So far, it's nice to have all the patterns in one spot, like, so I can remember that I have all these things. So since it's also on my phone, I can like quickly see like, oh, you have that pattern, or here's what you need, etc. So we'll see if it's helping streamline things a little bit. I figured I better start doing this now than if I get like 5 years into this and then like realize, oh, you should really have a database. I track a lot of my stuff. Like I already had a DMC tracker, but I mean, like for my doll collection, for example, I have like really elaborate tracking system for it, which I need to do for business purposes because since I also sell stuff for dolls, like I make t-shirts and clothes and stuff and sometimes then sell dolls. I need to track all that stuff anyways for, taxi reasons and small business reasons. So this just made sense to me to do something like that. And I find it satisfying as well. So that felt good to get a little handle. I was like, ooh, you have a lot of patterns. You have a lot of charts. You should slow your roll a little bit on these things or get some more stuff started. So that kind of inspired me to be like, oh, you should work on a bunch of stuff, at least get a little bit progress made. And that felt good to get that. And then I had a nice like variety of stitching this week, or the last 2 weeks, which was fun. Forgot to show you Zodiac. I will try to take a picture and stick it in here. You can see I just did a little bit more on the frames. I think I might have started on Capricorn. I realized too late that I had reversed one of the colors, a couple of the colors in the frame because they were like one number off. Like it was like 410 and 411, and I had done 410 where I was supposed to do 411 or something like that. And I'm like, I'm just not ripping. I'm just gonna go with it and fix. I can just swap them. I don't think it's a huge deal, but it'll look a little different than other people's. It's just I'm not clearly can't pay attention enough. But yeah, it'll be fine. And that's fun to stitch on. And it's nice to have an Ada. I have like 2 Ada projects. So I might start another Ada project soon just to have another less stressful eye project to work on. Okay, so a little bit of thriftiness. I think I showed these in I bought a big bag. I went to the thrift store a couple days ago and bought a big bag of projects. I could see that had some stuff in it that were already sewn, but I'm like, well, who knows what's in there? So, and I showed there's a short of these where I show you a bunch of them, but it was a whole mess. Someone put like, oh, it's someone's secret shame stash of like finished kits, like Janlin maybe kits of like these cute little baby animals. Like, and they're really nice. I mean, they need washing because they've clearly like there's a lot of schmutz, like, oh, is that Cheeto? I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I mean, they'd be cute on project bags. They'd be cute like as baby things donated somewhere. I mean, I could give some away. I mean, there's one I'm gonna keep for myself. Look, it's taped edges too. It's glorious. They're all really sweet. I mean, so like that's a totally different style than the other ones, right? But these are all like a similar kind of like semi-realistic kawaii animals. These are just darling. This one is one I might keep. Is these? Look at those foxes, are so cute. But they're all a bunch of them are in a similar style. A lot of them are on I can't remember what it's called, not fiddler's cloth. I can't remember what this style is called. It's like that kind of more of a rustic Ada, more animals. So yeah, I don't know. I might give some. Oh, look at the otters; those are so cute. Um, Maybe I can give these away. I don't know. Make little things, little bags, and give them to a shelter or something, or who knows? Maybe somebody wants them here. This is the one I might keep to make a project bag. This sock monkey one. It's like a frame. That one's really cute. It's a little, I don't know, baby seal. I also quite like this one. It's very cute. And then some of them had the, oh, here, I'm wrong. This was a sunset. This is the pad kit. And then the chart is here. So if anyone wants a chart for that, I have it. I can just mail it to you. So, and then they're in that, also in that bag. And this bag was $3.99 at Goodwill. So all of those finished ones were in there. And then the rest of the bag had some scrap. So there's some scrap of this navy blue Ada, some more charts. This one's for a chart called Noah's Ark, which, I mean, it is this really old, so I don't think it's a huge deal to show it to you. But I don't know what this bee is. Maybe a sports ball type related thing. I don't recognize it. There's some linen pre-printed like table runner embroidery thing. Oh, that's cotton. It's like a cotton even wave. So I might do that one. Oh, look, there's more sock monkeys. Room. So I'm guessing it would have the name up here. So maybe I can put my room name. Oh, this would be fun on my office. Be fitting. Some more of that Ada, some more Ada. There's lots of Ada in here. Another embroidery pillow case kind of thing. Some more of another this is a, oh, it's this. It's the pillowcase. Pair of pillowcases. Here's the kit for it. So here's the brochure for the sock monkey thing. Will's room. So I can finish that. Very old school with inappropriate racial depictions of children on it. Oh yeah, oh, it's not a kit. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of patterns. Oh my gosh. Endangered youngins. So there's a whole bunch of them, and they're all like, oh, they're all like highlighted within an inch of their little lives. This person stitched this whole book of animals. I assumed those were kits. They'd stitched the whole thing. Every page in this book is highlighted. That is crazy. And then didn't do anything with them. But, they were clearly a process stitcher. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting haul. I will definitely use the Ada, and I will figure out something to do with those animals, or make something with them and donate them. Or maybe I will use them as a prize here. Someone can, or bring them to if I can ever get myself to a stitch in one of those stitchy things. What do you call them? Meetup, or what do you call those? The stitch like conventions that people are going to. I don't know, one of those. I would like to go to them. I've been having like major FOMO of seeing everybody going to the Stitch Con or whatnot. I would like to go to one of those. It'd be so fun. So I'm hoping I can get to one of those. Although I have like major social anxiety, so going to one of those without knowing anybody will be really nerve-wracking for me. I'll have to medicate or have a cocktail. I suppose this is also another form of medication. What else? Oh, so I went to the grand opening event of that used craft store, which has been open a while, but they finally had their like big, like, we're open party. And they had a nice sale where they had a table of fabric where you could buy fabric by the pound, and it was really inexpensive. It was like $5 a pound or something. And then they had like if you were one of the first 100 customers, you got kind of like a little paper fortune cookie, and in there was a discount, and mine was 15% off. So I bought some fabric from the table, and then bought a bunch of floss in colors that I was missing based on my DMC chart and how much time I had, because I remember I told you that the floss situation is just like arranged in a rainbow, not by number. So you just kind of have to pick every one of them up, which gets tedious after a while. So I just went through and picked some colors that I knew I didn't have, and based on my charts, and things I thought I'd use, and then got some fabric. So I can show you the fabric that I got. They had a blanket, one of those blankets of Ada. So I spent like this was all together about $25 I spent with a ton of fabric and a bunch of floss, like probably I bought about 25 flosses. So yeah, blanket of Ada. So I'm going to cut this up into pieces and dye it. I bought a bunch on that table was a bunch of like batting and stabilizer stuff to use for bags and quilting, which was great. I bought this pink, just some pink, like it feels like it's Kona cotton. It's like a nice cotton that I figured would be great for lining of stitch bags. I bought this on that table was a bag of scraps of this like fabric that we think that it was probably cut up for mass. So it's a bunch of like middle fingers and a bunch of like festive. Yeah, this is clearly mass. Some fucky fuck. And I don't know think I'll make masks out of it. But I thought this could be fun for pockets and piecing and quilts and whatever. Maybe I'll make one or two masks out of it. It was humorous. There were a couple zippers I bought, and zippers were super cheap. More batting. This is a pretty sturdy. This actually might be felt, but it's a nice like sturdy stabilizer. There was some silk. This print, which is really cute, of these cat comic book. Just felt like good stitch bags material. I like cats. There was this adorable little like Japanese kawaii Japanese print of little like kimono. Looks like those little dolls. I can't think of the name of the dolls. Some more. This is some. Feels like some outdoor canvas, but it's nice and stiff, so that could be good for like the back of a bag. Another zipper for bags, and then another cute like 1930s cats about town. Looks like it's like a fat quarter maybe. This is a large piece of yardage. This I thought was really pretty. It's a Moon Dance by Jean Morrison for Free Spirit, so it's a good quality. Free Spirit is a great brand. It's like my favorite quilt brand. So it's huge. It's a lot of it. I don't think it's quite backing size. I'll have to check. It might be enough for a backing of a quilt, and it's a good print. So this was one of my favorites. Is this beautiful like panels of kind of Japanese fancy ladies, like you'd call these kind of, you see these a lot in ukiyo-e prints. So of women in kimonos and stuff at different places in the home. It's really nice. And there was like 3 yards of this. So I'll show you, I made some stuff out of it. I got some tiny seed beads of different colors. So here's some Mill Hill beads, different colors, Delica beads and Mill Hill seed beads. And this was $4.99 for this pack, plus I had a discount. And then I also picked these up at Goodwill the other day. So that was it from that store. Oh, and I also bought like a drawing journal for my son, a new one, and I think that at least one more like quilt pattern is around here somewhere. But I picked these up from the thrift store. This is from St. Vincent de Paul thrift store, and these were each little $3 kind of bracelet making packs, but they had some really nice quality beads in there. I mean, the beads in this one are really, really small, smaller than they're 15/0, so that's smaller. I think most Mill Hills are 11/0, right? Yeah, so these are teeny tiny ones. So like I could use this on a 36 count. I mean, and it says this little tube in here, it says it was originally $7. And then there's 2 other nice little beads of good shapes. There's also instructions how to make the jewelry. Here's another kit. This was also $3.60. Same thing, a really nice thing of beads in a small size. These ones are 11/0 in dark topaz. Here's another kit with nice like sparkly beads, and then 2 things of 11/0 seed beads. And then this one was $3 with, it has 2 big tubes and then one kind of cute like flat sized one. and then a couple other beads in the back. And I thought, well, I could make the jewelry. Otherwise, I will use these to bead my mirabilias or add beads to other things or ornaments or bead costumes, one of the thing. And those were like, just felt like a great deal for potential projects. I was inspired to make stuff because I had all that fabric and thought I'd try some stuff out. So here is the first. I made a project bag out of the Japanese print. So it's these ladies on this side and these ladies on this side. I used that pink lining, and this was a zipper that I also got at the store. I used the binding, you know, like where the edge where they have like the fabric colors to make a little loop to hold it, or I can like put a carabiner on there to add stuff to. And then in here I put my Ophelia mirabilia pattern. It's all kitted up, and I bought a hoop thinking maybe I'll try a hoop, although I already hate the idea. But I thought I'd use this to, when I get to the beading, I know I'm going to have to hoop my mirabilia to do the beading. So I got this anchor oval frame. Thought I'd try that out. I also got, to go with this bag, I got this cute little kind of like pair of scissors that look sort of like a samurai sword, and they've got a little like, I think that's not a lotus flower, but a little flower detail in the tassel. I got these from AliExpress, and I thought they looked perfect for this bag in Kaban des. So, and then, yeah, so here's my kit for the Ophelia. I bought Toho beads instead of the beads, the Mill Hill beads. And I bought the closest colors. You know, I may have saved a ton of money by doing this. So I think they'll be good. Right now I have this fabric, which is not what's called for. It's darker. This is teal green Witchelt 18 by 18, and it's 32 count. The pattern calls for laurel linen 32 count, and it is a lighter, I mean, you can see it's a lighter green. So I'm trying to decide if it's going to work. I think I need to go the lighter one. This is one I got on eBay for like really crazy good deal. And I thought, well, maybe if not. So I don't know. I think I need to go get the lighter one or dye something that I already have a lighter color. We'll see. I need to like lay it out and what do you call it? Floss toss it. And I have one of the, I went to the Lynn's of Madison the other day to try to buy the Karen water lilies for this. And they don't have a full selection of Karen water lilies. They only have some of them, which is a pain in the ass. So they only had one, the Distant Hills color, which I'm not even seeing here. I'm not sure where. Oh, here it is. They had this one, but I need one more, one or two more. So I have to order it, but I have enough to start. So as long as I decide, I got to just decide on the fabric or get the correct fabric, and then I could start this soon enough. But anyway, it's ready to go, and it's in this bag. Here was another fabric I got in that fabric haul from the $5 per pound table, and this was another piece of Free Spirit. Oh, it's covered in cat hair because when I put a bag down, my cat is like, "Oh, I can't sit on this." So I made this one, and this is another zipper that I bought at the store. And then I made a matching little like accessory pouch, and all of these have that same lining in it. This one I forgot to put a loop on, but lining. And then this I made using that pattern that I bought in a previous video, which I'm not, this one. Yes, I used this pattern, this pattern to make this one. The other one I just made up. I mean, I just cut rectangles and sewed it. I just thought I'd try out and see what they did. They don't do, I added like a zipper stop at the end because I didn't like how they did it. So anyway, so I got this also from that sale. I forgot I had these two separated out, is this piece of Free Spirit. These are both Free Spirit fabrics that were both from that table of stuff that I got. And I love them. And this goes nicely with some of the Tulip Pink stuff that I have. So I think that's it for sewing. Or no, yeah, for project bags. So I made those. I have more plans to make other project bags, and I started some other stuff as well. I started doing some paper piecing, quilting stuff. So I made some like little hexies out of some scraps I have. This is a llama themed hexie. flower. And then I have another one that I started doing. And so I'll put these, I think I'll use them to decor the exterior, like an exterior pocket on a project bag. And then I also then started doing a fussy cut one using some of the tulip pink fabrics I just got. So I'm making a rosette, and this is using Parisville. That fabric is from the Parisville, Tulip Pink Parisville Deja Vu. And then these will be the next one. This is similar to I mean, I just made this up, but this is similar in shape to the beginning of Tula Nova pattern. I cannot get the orientation of this right. So then I have these all around the outside currently. So we'll see. Maybe this, I don't know how far I get with this one because I'm just making it up, but maybe it'll just be a pillow. We'll see. It'll be cute in here because my studio is very brightly colored. You can't tell from the wall behind me, but everything on the floor and the chairs and stuff is very perky. So that's an experiment there. Anyway, so some other stuff I've done is I recently went through my stuff, like while I was going through Notion and adding all my patterns in there. I recently sorted things in a way that made more sense to store. So as an example, I have these felt buckets that I got in like Christmas clearance for like, I mean, I think they're on clearance for like $1 or something. And I bought a bunch of them because I thought they're cute with the pom-poms and they store a bunch of stuff. So I've got, in this one, I have all the things that I've either kitted or kits in progress, so that when I'm feeling the urge to start something, it's all ready to go. So like one of the things I fully kitted up this, well, except for fabric, this Lindy Stitches Birds to the Bow with all the floss, and then have a couple other ones in here that I've been adding things to, finishing up the floss that I need and that sort of thing. So that I'm ready to go when I have another kit, when I need to start. Then I put all the patterns that I haven't kitted in a bin that I got at the dollar store. I know somebody I was watching recently talk about, I think it was the museum stitcher, Bergen, like, I don't know, keeps them in a binder. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I have tons of binders at work. So I might grab a binder and then put them in pages, and then you can sort them by designer that way. But for right now, I'm just sticking them in this thing. So now I know where my charts are. And then I have, and then in this bin is all the things that are kitted, fully kitted, and some are started too in this one. Most of these are full kits. Like some of those are kips. And then this is like, has the fabric, has all the, like ready to go. So in terms of the haul is kind of all mixed in here. I went to Lynn's of Madison to try to get the floss for Christmas chicken, and to get the Karen water lilies for Ophelia. And I also went through their bins because I wanted to see if they had more primitive hair. I was looking for the ones that match these. I have the Miss Lynette linen and the Sally silk or something, Sue silk, and I'm looking for the cotton, the wool cotton, and then there's one other one, linen silk wool. I don't know, one other one, but they didn't have them. But I did pick up 2 other primitive hairs, and that is this one from the Abyss, which has a cool mermaid kind of siren situation on it, and then Summer Needles Queen, which is oh gosh, I cannot get anything in the frame, which is a needles book one that also has the siren on it, and thought, well, I can make a fun kind of like stitch bag and needle holder, and I like the colors on here. So, and then I started kitting that up, and I think I'm going to dye some linen to go with this. And then Christmas chicken, I picked out some linen. This one is 28 count, and this wants it to be 32, but I don't know. We'll see. I had this one, so I might just use it. And then I picked out some of the flosses are the called for, and others are ones that I picked from stash. So I think it'll be okay. So this is ready to go, unless I decide I want to get a 32 or 36 count. Otherwise, I might just do it on the 28 because I have it. Because I want to start that in July, but I will see if I want to get a different fabric. If not, I'm trying not to spend any more money this month. So we'll see. That's why I thought, well, maybe I'll just use what I have. If not, I don't know. I have some other linen that I've hoarded, but none of it seemed the right color, or I don't know. That one was the right color, but I think for the project, but it's just a bigger size. I don't know. I don't mind having a huge chicken, but another thing I bought a lot on eBay with a bunch of fancy floss in it. Here's half of it. This is all of the stranded silk and cotton. It was like 34 different skeins, and I think it was $35 shipped. So it was a really great deal. And it was like really a lot of hand dyes. Like there's 2 of these. Here's one of the other ones. Some of it is silk. This one's a stranded silk. Belsois stranded silk. There were a couple of more gentle arts in here. Another big honk. So these are nice because I think I have enough of these. I could do because these are like 20-yard skeins, I think. And I've got like 2 of the same color. I don't know. I think I might have enough to do like a long dog, a good chunk of one in these colors. If maybe I find one more color. I don't know. And there was a couple silks in here. Anyway, I was pleased. It's a nice kind of like stash builder, so I can try to start pulling from stash. I have this in the bin with all the rest of my Crescent Colorworks, classic Colorworks. Also in that lot were then these were all like the non cross stitch ones. There's a bunch of wool ones, so I'm guessing this is needlepoint. They're really nice. Like this is all like this is cashmere. Cashmere and merino mixes. There's a bunch of those. Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty colors. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm gonna try out some needlepoint because I have some needlepoint fabric that I got in a lot, and I'm sure I could just find a pattern, or I could just make something up. And needlepoint seems like I don't even want to go to a needlepoint store because like that seems like a really expensive hobby, dangerously expensive hobby. So this way I can be like, okay, well, we'll see if we even like it. I mean, and it's nice because some of them are the same color. So I have more than one. These are all really lovely threads. And then there's some more Karen impressions, some Karen watercolors, in different colors. So I thought, well, I could start, maybe I try a little needlepoint out with this. If not, then I can give this to my mom. She will use it in her stuff. This is some rayon, which this would work in cross stitch. It's not too thick. There's some Weeks pearl, hand dye, over dyed pearl. Like my mom will love this. She'll use that. And I mean, I do embroidery too. I just tend to do kits where I don't have to do this stuff. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'll play around with this, or I'll give it to her and she will be happy about it. But anyway, it's a huge lot that I got a swell deal on. And now I have a little bit more stash building to kind of make these projects happen. Because it really does make a difference when you use the over dyed silk for these simple. I mean, they just look so much cooler when you use the over dyed silk that has a little bit of variation. Anyway, last thing, and then I will leave you, is I've been slowly working on putting my thread on floss drops. I've been making floss drops I have all these like dumb cards that I bought like when I thought I could do a baby book. And I've been using these to make them, which they work really well, and I'm using them up. But then I bought like a recollections, like the wide hole punch from Michaels, and then it pooped out the other day, and I'm like, I barely had this thing for like 2 weeks, maybe a month most. So that was annoying. So I didn't want to buy the same brand again, and haven't come across one that's the right size. And just trying not to spend. But I had already ordered these, like an assortment of, this is like a whole like box of plastic, like resin floss drops from, I think I got these from AliExpress for like $4 or something. So I've been slowly using these now. I've been just writing on the number on it in a Sharpie and then putting them on these. And I use my nitty knotty. I have like a small size nitty knotty. This is if you're a spinner, you know what this is, but you use this to like wind your skeins on. And this is a small nitty knotty, so it like measures. If you do a full wrap, it's a yard, and this is like the perfect length to. I do a loop start, so my if I use that and then cut it at wrap it around, like I can show you. Okay, so I've labeled. I usually before I take the little threads off, I write the label down on here so I don't forget, and then I pull these off. Then I take an end, I hold it here, and then you wrap it. You wind it around here. Make sense? And usually at some point it gets in a big knot, but sometimes you can avoid that. I'm sure there's a way to do that so it doesn't do the knot, but I sometimes I get it off perfect. Uh, I wonder if I just pulled it from the floss without taking the things off, it might not do this. Maybe I'll try that next time. Anyway, I wind this all the way around and then cut it. And I usually end up with one piece that's either too long or too short based on like here, there's one that's a little longer based on how like because these were all a lot of these are used flosses that I got in a lot from the thrift store. So some of these aren't quite the right size. Or I mean some floss is gone. So it doesn't end up being a perfect yard, a couple of yards. What is it? What are these skeins? Like 10 yards? Anyway, so and then I loop it and put it on here and then it's ready to go. So I've been slowly doing that. It's tedious and takes a long time. But then once I have that done, I have all these binder clips or these loops. I actually picked up a bunch of these at the thrift store too the other day, like in a box. There was a whole bunch of them. Like perfect. And then I'm gonna sort them by color range. Like no, I'm lying. I'm gonna sort them by their numbers, like put like 100 to 200 on a loop and 300 to 400 and etc. That way it'll be easier for me to kit things up. Right now it's sort of chaos to kit things up. Anyway, all right, I have to go pick up the child. I hope you like and subscribe. I'm hoping you get some time to do some stitching or craftiness, crafty beaverness, quilting, etc. in your copious spare time this week. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time.